So we went over Malachi 3 and 8 when it was saying, will a man rob God? We went over that concerning Malachi 3 and 8. It says, will a man rob God? So how were the Israelites robbing God, man? How were the Israelites robbing God? We're going to show you. Going to Malachi 1 and 12. This is Malachi chapter 1 and 12 to show you how the Israelites were robbing God. Malachi chapter 1, verse 12. But ye have profaned it, and that ye say, the table of the Most High is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even its meat, is contemptible. Let's continue to read on to see how Israelites were robbing the Most High. Ye said also, behold, what a weariness is it, and ye have snuffed at it, said the Most High of hosts, and ye have brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick, thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this of your hand, said the Most High? Verse 14 out of Malachi chapter 1. But cursed be the deceiver, which had in his flock a male, and bound and sacrificed unto the Most High a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, say the Most High of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen. So now we're going to go over and show you how the Israelites were robbing God concerning Malachi chapter 1, verse 12, stopping on 14. Because we saw in Malachi 3 and 8, it said, will a man rob God? Let's see how the Israelites were robbing God concerning to Malachi 1, verses 12, stopping on 14. It says, but ye have profaned it, and ye say, the table of the Most High is polluted, and the fruit thereof, even its meat, is contemptible. Now, let's focus on verse 13, because it's going to tell you what devices they were using to rob God. It's going to tell you what were the Israelites doing to rob God. Let's look at verse 13 out of chapter 1, dealing with the book of Malachi. He said also, behold, what a weariness is it, and ye have snuffed at it, said the Most High of hosts, and ye brought that which was torn, and the lame, and the sick, thus ye brought an offering. Should I accept this of your head, said the Most High? So you can see the Israelites were robbing the Most High by bringing him crippled cattle, man. By bringing the Most High crippled cattle, crippled flocks. By bringing the Most High deformed animals, animals that wasn't in great wealth, animals that were sick, animals that was lame. That's how they were robbing the Most High, man. All right? They was robbing the Most High by bringing him lame flock, sick flock, deformed flock, animals that was not in a good state of health. Lame and sick animals, man. That's how they was robbing the Most High. Because according to the Bible, when you give 10% of your flock, when you give 10% of your herds, when you give 10% of your tithes, dealing with flock, herds, and cattle, dealing with herbs, dealing with spices and oils, you're supposed to bring him your best. You're supposed to bring him your best, man. You don't supposed to rob the Most High by giving him some stale bread, man. By giving him some stale food. Giving him sick cattle and sick flock of the field. You're supposed to give him 10% of your best flocks, your herds, and your cattle. And that's how the Israelites were robbing God. This didn't have nothing to do with money, nothing to do with currency, nothing to do with finance, man. Let's continue on. Once again, this lesson is dealing with tithing. We're going to continue on with Malachi. Let's go back to chapter 3. And let's go back to chapter 3, and let's look at verse 10, and we'll read down and we'll stop on verse 11. Malachi 3 and 10. Bring ye all the tithes in the storehouse, that there may be meat, not money, meat, not finance, meat, not currency, meat. That there may be meat in my house, and prove me now herewith, said the Most High of hosts. And if I would not open you the windows of heaven and pour out your blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. Malachi 3 and 11. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground. Now you're going to find out that these false-ass pastors, these Pharisees, and these Sadducees have not been telling you so-called Negroes, you Hispanics, and you Native Americans the truth concerning the Bible. They've been manipulating and twisting the scriptures, man.
Why you can't get your head above water. You wonder why you don't have joy. You wonder why you deal with greed. You wonder why you all get messed up with envy. You wonder. It's all about the money. Ask you. Serious. Why are you even coming to church if you're not bringing the tithes? Seriously, what are you expecting? I got to ask you. Serious. Why are you even coming to church if you're not bringing the tithes? Seriously, what are you expecting? Why are you even coming to church if you're not bringing the tithes? Seriously, what are you expecting? Just hang out at home, man. Play golf.
Because when it comes down to Malachi chapter 3, verse 10, they tell you that if you will pay your tithes, give money, when it ain't even dealing with money, it's dealing with flocks, cattle, and herds, and oils, and spices. That's what tithe is dealing with. They tell you that in the church, they make it seem that tithing is dealing with money, and then they make it seem the more you give in or the more you invest is the better off you'll be blessed, man.
It's all about the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the money. Show me the money. The money. The money. The money. Show me the money.
Because they say, if you give, then the Most High, he'll open up the windows of heaven and pour out you a blessing. But we're going to show you what the windows of heaven concerning Malachi 3, verse 10, and concerning Malachi 3, verse 11, we're going to show you when he said, I will rebuke the devourer, what that is, man. because the pastors are lying to you Negroes, man.
The Bible gives us to know that you ought to pay your tithes. I didn't write it, it's in the book. Read the 3rd chapter of Malachi. I didn't write it. He declares, I'll open up the windows of heaven and I will pour out on you blessings. So much so that you won't even have room enough to receive what God's got for you. You see, the Bible gives us to know that when you're not a tither, then you're a thief.
And you're going right down the tube if you don't repent and if you don't return to your heritage and wake up, man. So let's see what he's talking about concerning Malachi 3, verse 10, when he says, prove me here, prove me now, herewith, say the Most High, and I will open up the windows of heaven. Now, concerning the Bible, we're going to show you the precept that basically what he's talking about when he said the windows of heaven. Because they make it seem in the Christian church that the windows of heaven is basically blessings that's being rained upon you, man.
Read the 3rd chapter of Malachi. I didn't write it. He declares, I'll open up the windows of heaven and I will pour out on you blessings. So much so that you won't even have room enough to receive what God's got for you.
And that's BS, because that ain't what it's talking about. We're going to show you. Now remember, when you read the Bible, Isaiah 28 and 10 says, precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So this is how you read the Bible, man. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So we're going to give you the precept concerning Malachi chapter 3, verse 10. What is exactly the windows of heaven, man? We're going to show you. We're going to Genesis, the 7th chapter, and we're going to begin with the 11th verse. So that's Genesis, the 7th chapter, beginning with the 11th verse, to explain and give you the precept what exactly is the windows of heaven being opened. Genesis 7 and verse 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the foundations of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open. You see that? Because I'm going to read it again, man. I'm going to read it again. Genesis 7, verse 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven was open. Because this is talking about during the time of the pre-flood days. This is talking about during the time of Noah about to come on the earth. And drown out humanity, man. It's talking about during the days of Noah, when the Most High told Noah to build an ark because he was going to flood the earth and kill all the individuals that was breaking his commandments, that was sinning and didn't want to repent. So that's what it's talking about, man. So in Genesis chapter 7, verse 11, it says, in Noah's life, because Noah was around this time dealing with Noah, his 3 boys, dealing with Noah's ark, Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open. The windows of heaven is talking about rain, man. It's talking about how the Most High opened the windows of heaven and begin to send rain on the earth, man. Let's look at verse 12. And the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. So what did it say concerning Genesis chapter 7, verse 12? It said the rain was upon the earth. The rain was upon the earth. The rain was upon the earth. For 40 days and 40 nights. So what is the windows of heaven concerning Malachi 3 verse 10? It's talking about rain, man. It's talking about rain. That's what the windows is concerning Malachi 3 verse 10. Let's go back to that, man. That's what it's talking about. That's why you can't read the Bible like a chapter book. It has to be precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, man. This is Malachi 3 verse 10. So now, when we review this and when we read it over, then you're going to understand what is the windows of heaven. Malachi 3 verse 10. Malachi 3 verse 10. Bring ye out the tithes and the storehouse, that there may be meat, not money, meat. That there may be meat in my house, and prove me now herewith, say the Most High of hosts. And if I will not open up the windows of heaven and pour out you a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. So what is the windows of heaven? Concerning Genesis 7, verses 11 and 12, the windows of heaven is simply water. It's simply rain. Because I told you that tithing was dealing with flocks, cattle. It was dealing with herds. It was dealing with crops, vegetation. It was dealing with plants, corn. It was dealing with peas, carrots, all the veggies, the vegetables. That's what tithing was. It was never money, man. In order for your crops, in order for your herds to grow, you need a sufficient amount of rain. And anytime that you was devoted to the Most High, anytime that you didn't rob the Most High, anytime that you committed your life to the Most High and lined up with His commandments and did what He said, He made sure that you received an abundance of rain to keep your crops growing, to keep your vegetables growing, to keep your corn flourishing.
Read the 3rd chapter of Malachi. I didn't write it. He declares, I'll open up the windows of heaven and I will pour out on you blessings. So much so that you won't even have room enough to receive what God's got for you.
Malachi 3 verse 11. And I will rebuke the devourer for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground. So the Most High say, if you be obedient, if you don't rob me, if you don't bring me crippled cattle, if you don't bring me crippled flock, if you don't bring me whatever you got, if you bring me the best of whatever you have, 10% of your crops, 10% of your flock, 10% of your herds, 10% of your cattle, 10% of your oils, 10% of your spices. If you bring your best, your very best, and if you don't cheat and rob me by bringing me some crippled ass animals, if you don't rob me by bringing me some rotten ass vegetables, then I will pour out you the blessings of heaven. I will open up the windows of heaven. I will make sure that you Israelites receive abundance of rain so you can keep your crops, your herbs, your cattle growing, man. That's what tithing is dealing with. It was never finance. It was never currency. It was never money. Your Christian pastors are lying to you, man. Verse 11. He says, and I will rebuke the devourer. What is the devourer? The sun, man. Because the sun will devour crops. He said, if you be obedient to me, Israel, you Israelites, you Negroes, you Hispanics, you Native American Indians, if you be obedient to me, I will rebuke the devourer. I won't cause the sun to come out and dry up all your crops, your vegetables. All right? Because in order to grow crops, in order to grow vegetables, you need a sufficient amount of rain, which is the windows of heaven, and you need sunlight, but you don't need too much sunlight. Why? Because the sun can scorch and burn your vegetables, can scorch and burn your crops, man. And the Most High say, I will rebuke the devourer. I will make sure that the sun doesn't incinerate your crops, that the sun doesn't burn up your vegetables, man, that the sun doesn't burn up your cattle and your flock, and your oil and your spices. Another devourer that Malachi 3 and 11 deals with, another devourer is known as locusts. That's another devourer, because locusts are like little tiny like grasshoppers that can get on your crops and eat away your crops, destroy your vegetation. That's why if any of you know about agriculture and know about farming, they always get insecticide devices to kill off these insects and keep them from devouring their crops, man. They always spray down their crops to keep these insects from destroying their crops. Well, the Most High said, I will rebuke the devourer. What that means? I will hold back and rebuke these locusts from destroying your crops. That's only if you be obedient to me. That's only if you wouldn't rob me. That's only if you give 10% of your best flock, your best cattle, your best herds, your best oils, your best spices. But you Israelites, if you screw around and start robbing me by giving me third-class cattle, giving me third-class flock, giving me third-class sheep, giving me third-class oils, giving me third-class spices. If you give me third class of what you own or what you possess, if you don't give me first class, if you give me third class, I'm not going to rebuke the devourer, man. I'm not going to pour out the blessings of heaven. I'm not going to rain on your land. I'm not going to make sure your crops has sufficient amount of rain. If you rob me, your crop's going to die. Because I'm not going to send any rain. If you rob me, your crops is going to be consumed because I'm going to allow the sun to devour your crops and burn your crops. Last but not least, I'm going to allow the locusts to consume your vegetables and eat the leaves of your vegetables and eat up your crops and your vegetables. That's what tithing is dealing with. It's dealing with food, man. It was never currency, it was never finance. Let's continue on. We're going to continue on with Malachi 3, verse 11. I will rebuke the devourer, the sun. That's the sun, that's the locusts, for your sakes, and he shall not destroy the fruits of your ground. So the Most High said he shall not destroy what? The fruits, not money, not currency, not finance, but the fruits. Because that's what tithing is dealing with, fruits. Cattle is dealing with food, man. Neither shall your vine cast her fruits before the time in the field, said the Most High of hosts. But they gonna tell you so-called Negroes, you Hispanics, you Native Americans, who the Israelites the Bible speaks of, your pastor gonna lie to you in these damn churches and tell you that tithing is dealing with finance and tell you that tithing is dealing with money. You'll be better off putting your money in a damn bank than taking your money and putting it in church, man.
Why you can't get your head above water. You wonder why you don't have joy. You wonder why you deal with greed. You wonder why you all get messed up with envy. You wonder. It's all about the money.
I mean, I thought about when we first built the dome, I wanted to put some of those little moving bars and give everybody a little card. They stick it in a little computer slot. And if they were tithing, beautiful music would go off. And, you know, welcome, welcome, welcome to the world dome. But if they were non-tithers, the bar would lock up, the red and blue lights would start going, the siren would go off, and a voice would go throughout the entire dome. Crook, 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 crook. Security would go and apprehend them, and once we got them all together, we'd line them up in the front and pass out Uzis by the ushers. We point our Uzis right at all those non-tithing members because we want God to come to church. And at the count of 3 Jesuses, we'd shoot them all dead.
Fire. 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 Fire.
I would certainly try it.
If you real brothers and sisters knew the truth, you wouldn't be tithing, man. Because tithing is done away with. There are only 3 people or groups of people who ever paid tithes in the Bible, man. Who was that? Number 1 was Abraham. And he only paid tithes 1 time. With the spoils of war, he paid tithes 1 time. Abraham didn't consistently keep paying tithes. He paid tithes 1 time with the spoils of war. Number 2, the Israelites that was living under the law, they paid tithes as well, man. The Israelites that was living under the Old Testament law, they paid tithes. Who else paid tithes? The Pharisees paid tithes. So you had Abraham that paid tithes, you had the Israelites under the Old Testament law that paid tithes, and you had the Pharisees that paid tithes, but neither one of them gave money. Neither one of them, when they paid tithes, it was not dealing with money, man. It was not dealing with finance. It was not dealing with currency. When you read the Bible, tithing is dealing with crops, food.